So, to wrap up the software engineering track today, Felice Baboya from AWS will demonstrate how AI can assist in rapid software development. I first met Felice back in September at the first ever Belfast AWS Community Day, so I'm delighted to be able to welcome her back to Belfast so soon. Felice, we're very excited for your talk. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be back here. I was in Belfast last year, and it was amazing to meet so many of you. I'm Velusa Boya. I'm a developer advocate at AWS. My role is to work with developer communities. I'm based in South Africa. I mainly work with the developer community throughout Sub-Saharan Africa, but from time to time, I do hop over to other continents as well, like this one, and then I engage. So I'll be actually doing a demo today of an app that I built using a coding assistant, an AI coding assistant. And I feel like a lot of what we've been hearing today from all these inspiring speakers we've had has been setting the introduction for what I'm going to talk about. When generative AI first became a thing and there was all this excitement about what we can actually do with generative AI, there was a lot of conversation around the fact that you can now use it to automate the things that you've done before. And that messaging was very bothering to me or bothersome to me, because how do I, in a continent where people really don't have jobs, how do I get excited about something that's automating? What I've been happy about is that the conversation is moving towards augmenting, so working alongside you instead of automating or taking away what you do. And I'm a lot more comfortable with that conversation. So what has been very exciting for me about AI coding assistance is not that it takes your job away as a developer, it's that it works alongside you. It can help you get started a lot faster than you normally would, but you still are the person in the loop and you remain in the loop. And I'm a lot more comfortable with that messaging around coding assistance. So if you scan this QR code, you will access a page on, so I'm at AWS, and we have an AI coding assistant as well. I know we hear a lot about Cursor and GitHub Copilot, and I say my dream is that when people out there talk about coding assistants, they mention us as well. We do have one, Amazon Q developer. We released it about 2 years ago, I think, and we've been working with the developer community to improve the features quite a bit. And a few weeks ago, we released Amazon Q for CLI. The demo that we'll see today is a walkthrough using a CLI, just using natural language to ask it to build a Tripadvisor clone for me. And I'm hoping I'll be able to stop and start the demo once I actually get started with it. But let's see. So if you go onto this QR code that you scan here, you will see how to install it for your local environment. And then you will see how to get started with Q in your CLI. Okay. So I went in, so I already had it installed. And to invoke the agent, you just do a QChat command, and then you can start. So I am asking it, give me a Python code to build a Tripadvisor clone, and I want it to be browser-based, and also I am asking it and being specific that when you do create it, I want you to already populate the database with some attractions and some restaurants around Belfast. And because later on, I actually want to see if it's going to do what I want it to do. It took me 18 minutes to do all of this. You'll see when we get to the end, it's not a perfect app. I would need to still work on it, but 18 minutes I could get started, and there's something that I can actually work with. So I asked it, and then what's also great is that before it starts, it will tell me what it will be doing, and it will, with every step of what it does, it keeps me updated. I don't know CSS, and you'll see as we go through that there is some code there that gets generated, but it shows me everything, and that's where you as the human then remain in the loop. because you don't just accept the code that you get generated, you get to scan through it. You could pair program with a friend who knows maybe the language a lot better than you do, and that's where you could learn from each other as well. So I find it to be an opportunity for that as well. Last year, I did a similar, but I was facilitating a workshop in Kenya, and I asked the participants to build whatever you want. Let's see what you actually come up with. And I had participants who said, I had never worked with Python before, I wanted to try it out, so today I built an app using Python. I'd never tried Rust before, so today I built an app using Rust. And that's another use case that I've really liked quite a bit, because you can use it to learn languages that you don't know and see where that actually takes you. So every step, it tells me what it does. And what you can also do with AI coding assistance is, it takes away that context switching that tends to happen when when you get an error and now you have to hop out and you go to Stack Overflow and you're scratching. We all know this, developers, and you're scratching around trying to find a solution for this error that you just got. Generally with AI coding assistance, you don't need to hop out anymore, so it removes that context switching that you normally would go through. You'll see later on, I did encounter an error the first time, and I came back and I asked it in natural language as well, that I'm getting this error, tell me how to fix it. And it told me I had skipped a step where I had to install dependencies. I forgot to install them, and it told me this, and it said, if you're not comfortable installing them yourself, I can install them for you. Do you want me to install for you, or are you comfortable to install them yourself? And it did that. And then we continued. And then in the end, we could actually get going. So it's still going through all the steps, and it did say earlier on in the beginning everything that it's going to build for me. So now it's just each of those features it's building for me as it actually goes through. And the other use case that I've been hearing of is folks who are only back end or you only front end, and suddenly you can build a full stack app and get going with that. And that's quite a great use case also to have. And with that, I also don't see people being replaced. I see us getting opportunities to learn new things. I see us getting opportunities to pair program and to work with other colleagues as well, and build things that before we could never build. I could never build a full stack app before, and I could produce that within 18 minutes and then take it from there. So it's still going through all the steps. We're almost there. I think soon it will get to where I was now trying to test it, because it even told me how to test it. Where I did the first test and then I was getting an error, and then then I came back and I asked it how to fix it, and it showed me what I actually got wrong with that. Where you see me typing Y, if you want to not be the human in the loop, so getting to tap the Y is the software, the tool actually allowing you to be the human in the loop. If you don't want to do all these Ys, you just want it to do, you're trusting it to just do everything. Once, when you start at the beginning, you just say accept all. So you do QChat and then /accept all. Then it was never going to ask you to do the Ys. But we're saying we're keeping the human in the loop, so we are letting it, keeping ourselves in the loop, and we're doing the Ys as we get through. Okay, so while we're still letting it go through, something else that I was hearing from the other speakers as we were listening through, I did like what Owen said about responsibility with AI. The other question that folks were asking, especially in the beginning, is, are you going to use my code to test, to train your models? And it was another concern that was keeping people away from experimenting with these tools. But on AWS, there is, you get to say whether we're going to use not your code, but your feedback to us to train the models. And we've been making that quite clear with the documentation as well to our customers that, no, we don't use your code to train. We might use your feedback, but that depends on you as well, if you want us to use your feedback to train the models. So anyone, I think if you're familiar with the code there, you are seeing stuff that you're familiar with, so you're able to actually keep up with what it's doing. And the other conversation that's been happening is, I don't know how many of us in the room have been hearing about vibe coding. And there's been so much conversation around that, and that's been another new thing that came up that I wanted to make sure that I understand what's going on. And as much as these demos, when I do them, it could look like vibe coding, I still make sure that I remain there, or whoever else is another human working with me, so that we move away from that. I'm finding that to be quite a controversial thing, and it sounds a bit reckless as well, I think. To just say, we're just gonna be vibe coding. It might be good to, in the beginning, as you're getting started, but as you move on, I don't think it's a thing that I would really want to align with. So try to not vibe code here with all the whys that I'm keeping in there and the stopping to look at the code to see what we get, and also just trying to learn from what I'm getting out. This entire demo is meant to go on for about 10 minutes. But I think we are almost there with it. I wanted to get to the part where we now are starting to do the test. The other reason that I actually, right in the beginning when I said, please build this for me, and I said pre-populate the database, is that when I first tried to test this, it didn't pre-populate the database with anything. And when I was testing it, there was no data for it to run. That's why the second time I wanted to make sure that I'm being specific. And that's been something else that I've learned quite a bit about prompts and how you need to be quite specific with the prompts as you write them. So it's been another lesson for me. So now it's at the end, it has finished, and it's doing a summary of everything that it actually did. It now is also going to tell me how to actually run this app that it's produced. So what I had skipped before was that pip install. I forgot to do that bit, and I just went and ran it. And when I went to the browser, it just gave me a page not found. That was the error that I got. So I came back and I said, I get an error, problem loading page. What do I do? And it went back and it looked, and then it came to tell me what it thinks I missed or what it thinks I actually didn't do right. And what it actually then did, this listing that it's doing here, it's looking to see, did you actually install all the dependencies that we're meant to install? That's why it's doing that list there. So then it found that there were files that were not there that I did not install. And I think at this point, it actually just took over from me and said, you know what, I'm just gonna install them for you because I told you to do it, you didn't do it. So creating a virtual environment is a lot safer to make sure that it isolates everything as well. And that's when it then just went and did all the installations that I was supposed to have installed in the first place, but did not install. I had to go and do a refresh there, and when I came back, I was now okay because everything was then now installed. We're almost done with all the installations. We'll get to the end, and now we can actually start to run the app, and we'll see what it actually gives me when I start to ask it a few questions about what I can find around Belfast. Okay, that's the end of it. And how I edit my demos could do some work. Okay, there we are. Okay, it's not the Tripadvisor colors, I know, but this basically kind of does what you would expect when you go to a Tripadvisor kind of an app. So I did ask just pre-populate with just Belfast attractions and restaurants for now. And I said load reviews and load some commentary around those attractions that you load for me. And it did that, and that's me just interacting with the app to see what I actually can find around Belfast. And that is the end of the demo. So I could now, if I want, go and add more features here, improve it, maybe change the coloring. If I really wanted to look like the Tripadvisor app, which is green, I could do that as well. And all of that would be back going to the app in natural language, just asking cues in my CLI to help me with all of that. And that's the end of the demo. And the next slide is, I would love to stay connected. Please, if you scan this, you're gonna get to my link tree, but in there you'll get my LinkedIn and you'll find other links that I share as well around AWS and how to build on AWS if you wanna do that. So it would be great to connect with you on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.